Hi, Fleet Ball here for the Center for Mindfulness and Public Safety. In this session, I'd like to introduce another simple yet effective self-regulation tool that involves regulating our breath that is called 4-7-8. This was developed by Dr. Andrew Weil, a very well-known holistic physician, and adapted from yogic traditions where these kind of breath regulation tools have been used for thousands of years. And it's called 4-7-8 because that's the count that we do with the breath. So we breathe in for a 4 count, then we hold the breath for a 7 count, and we breathe out for an 8 count. So in 4, hold 7, out 8. So what's going on there? Okay, so we have something called the autonomic nervous system that really drives all of the processes, manages all the processes in our body, which all happen, this most complex system in the known universe, the human body, nervous system, and brain, all that proceeds on a regular basis without us having to manage it, right? The vast majority of it happens automatically. And it's controlled by the autonomic nervous system. And the autonomic nervous system has 2 branches. It has the sympathetic branch, which upregulates our systems, and that's related to the stress response, or what's known as the fight or flight response. And then it has the parasympathetic branch, which downregulates our physiology and is often called the relaxation response. Okay? And they're both going on all the time. When we breathe in, there's a moderate sympathetic branch activation, so our heart rate increases a little bit on the in-breath. As we breathe out, parasympathetic branch activation or relaxation response, and the heart rate slows down. So every time we breathe in, the heart rate accelerates a little bit. Every time we breathe out, the heart rate decelerates a little bit, which gives us what is known as heart rate variability, which is a good measure for healthy stress response, and which many elite athletes who train and keep a heart monitor on them while they're training, they monitor heart rate variability. So ideally, our heart rate is not just a steady bump, 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 bump. It actually has a sine wave like this, and that's a healthy stress response. So our breathing is the access point to really managing our own physiology. All of these processes that happen automatically and are affected by the world around us. So if we don't take ownership for self-regulating our own physiology, then it's basically being regulated by the world around us. And sometimes that may be okay, and sometimes it doesn't work out so well, as we all know. If we're able to regulate our own physiology, we're able to better regulate our own emotions, not to repress them, but just to be able to be with our emotions without getting hijacked by them, and thus to be able to regulate our own behaviors, and thus to be more in the driver's seat, or at least the co-pilot seat of our own life. Okay? So here we're going to work with this simple breath regulation tool, 4-7-8. And I would encourage us to do it in an embodied way. I feel that all of these self-regulation tools are optimized in terms of their positive impact by doing them in a more embodied way. What do I mean by that? I mean being physically present, actually feeling the body from head to toe, feeling the contact between our body and a chair we're sitting in, or the car seat, or if we're lying down in bed and doing these before we go to sleep at night, the contact between our body and the bed, or if we're standing, just our feet on the ground. So feeling that connection between the body and whatever it's in contact with, and then feeling all of the physical sensations from head to toe on the surface of the skin. Our skin is one vast sensory organ, as we know. And then as well, very importantly, all of the internal sensations within the body. We all have this capacity known as interoception, or interoceptive awareness. And this is the body's capacity to feel itself from the inside out, as it were. We're all very familiar with this because this is how we know when we're hungry or thirsty or tired. It's how we know when we need to use the restroom. When we have aches or pains or a headache or indigestion, this is the body communicating to us from the inside out. Our entire body is a living organism, and it's all sensory all the way down to the bones, and including the bones, all connected to the central nervous system, all sensory. So with a little curiosity, we can drop into the body and learn to experience our body at a much deeper level. And so we have a deeply felt presence of the body, which helps anchor us in the present moment. And the more of our life we live in the present moment, it's better for us. I mean, we're going to perform better in any human activity if we're awake, present here, right? It also turns out that it's very healthy for us, physically, psychologically, and so forth, and increases our resilience by being physically present and deeply embodied. So I encourage you to work with that as well. And of course, the mind will wander all over the place, and we just gently bring it back again and again to the body and drop in with deeper curiosity. Now, the good thing about these breath regulation techniques is that when we're doing them, it's a little easier to stay focused because we have something to focus on, the counting, the breathing, and so forth, okay? So it's a really good entryway actually into becoming more present, okay? So let's give this one a try. So we will breathe in through the nose, a 4 count. Then we'll hold for a 7 count. And then we'll breathe out through the mouth like this, 4 and 8 count. So I'm going to do some counting to guide us, okay? And eventually you'll find your own rhythm with it. You may find that your counting sort of lines up with the heartbeat sooner or later, and that would be great. It's not necessary, but you may just find that happening naturally, okay? But I'll guide us to begin with, and then eventually you'll find your own way with it, okay? So let's give it a try. So we'll begin with an in-breath. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I think you get the idea. So let's just do it in silence for a moment, and then I'll come back and finish the session, okay? So give it a try. Do your best. Okay, so how did that go? You're probably getting the hang of it. It's quite simple, but it just takes practice. So I really encourage you to practice with this. Anytime you just have a couple minutes, just do this, and you'll get familiar with it and make it your own. And then it's really like all of these simple breath regulation techniques, it'll be immediately available to you, free, it's yours, you can use it anytime, anywhere. You can do it in any posture, you can do it with your eyes wide open, your eyes closed. You can do it while you're driving a car, it'll help you stay well regulated. You know, if you're stuck in rush hour traffic, instead of getting all agitated, you know, you can do, you know, some of these breath regulation tools and stay well regulated, okay? So I really wish you the best with this. And again, I encourage you to do any of these self-care techniques in a well-informed manner. So feel free to get on your search engine and look up the 4-7-8 breathing technique. You can even find your way to Dr. Andrew Weil's site and watch videos of him teaching it. So I really encourage you to explore all of these things in a well-informed manner. But they are very simple tools that any of us can use anytime, anywhere to keep ourselves well-balanced. And really the important thing for me is it really puts us more in the driver's seat, or as I said, at least the co-pilot seat of our own life. Okay? So please stay well. Thank you. Fleet Mall, Center for Mindfulness and Public Safety.